Hello, hello. It's Sarah Ayler from softflexcompany.com. We've got our good friend Stacie here. We're going to have a fantastic day hanging out with the Fab Flamingo design kit. She's got a little project that she started working on that she's going to show to you. But in the meantime, while you guys are hopping on, make sure you see our new sale just loaded for the week. It's our summer sale. 15 to 50% off shopping at softflexcompany.com using coupon code SUMMER15. And you want to go to the holidays category to find all of the things that are on sale. And I think this kit may even be in that category to get a discount. So you will use that coupon code SUMMER15 to get a little price break. Also, we're deep into summer now. My kids are driving me bonkers over here because it's 4th of July week and we've got family in town and they're super excited. So if you are looking for a way to keep them busy, we still have some of those beautiful summer break kids beading kits. Basically, you get some stretch magic, you get some instructions, and you get some ceramic beads and maybe even a tube of rolla beads, I think might be in there. It's a great little kit. Actually, I have one right here. Yeah, it does have a tube of rolla beads in there too. So the big whole seed beads. It's great for all ages. It's great for, my 6-year-old who's going into 1st grade. It would have been great for him when he was 4, even with supervision. And because all these beads have pretty big holes, you could definitely use it with some little kids with supervision. And then all the way up to my 11-year-old going into middle school, I think she would think some of these ceramic beads are pretty cute. So you can grab those at softflexcompany.com as well. Let me pop on this. There we go. Hi, Stacie.
Hi.
I'm so glad you're here with us today. It is your first time doing a live beading party with me, right?
It is. Woohoo. I'm so excited. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you here. Can you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself and your background with beading and
Sure.
maybe even where they can find you on a regular basis?
Absolutely. So I'm Stacie. I am based in Cincinnati, Ohio, but originally a California native. And I have been beading for about 16 years now. I started just before my older son was born and started as a seed beater, but I have branched out and really love working with soft flex wire as well as the beading wire as well. And I am found on YouTube. I'm under Stacierabbit. Same thing on Facebook and Instagram.
Why did you choose that name?
Why did I choose that name?
Yeah.
Really funny. So it's not as interesting as it sounds. I had pet rabbits for many, many years that I had adopted, and so had gone with Stacierabbit for emails and other accounts, and it just kind of stuck.
Yeah, totally. Years and years when I first started with Softflex, when I literally was a girl, I would go by Softflex Girl. And still to this day, some of my accounts are still Softflex Girl. And I'm always like, but I don't feel like a girl anymore. I feel like I need to update it Softflex Woman at this point. But it's funny how those things kind of stick with you as you traverse through life. So you don't have any bunnies now?
We do not.
Is that hard to go from having them all the time to like not having them as much, or is anybody allergic?
Nobody's allergic. My husband just keeps, I had them before we got married, and he just keeps reminding me we have children. We don't need bunnies too.
Oh, it's so true. That's so true. When we got Shadow, my dog, I was like, oh yeah, having a dog is almost like having another kid. I forgot about that. Thankfully, my kids are big enough that they do, hang out with the dog and walk the dog and feed the dog. And so they're able to help out. But it's a big responsibility. And kids keep you busy. We were just talking before this. Their activities and the things that they do in life just really can fill up your calendar very quickly.
The mom chauffeur.
Yeah. No, I didn't eat dinner till like 7:45 last night because it was just going. And then we have this tradition here in Benicia of a torchlight parade on July 3rd. And everybody goes down and puts chairs out or chalks the sidewalk for where they want to sit. And my kids have caught on to this now. And so for the last week, they have been like, we have to go chalk the sidewalk, Mom. We have to go. And then last night they were like, that's it. It's 2 days away. We're not going to have a spot. And so I was like, I have to eat dinner. And then I will take you. So I took them down to chalk the sidewalk. So we do have a spot if anyone's worried.
Very cool.
Yeah. So it just feels like there's always something, you got to do when you're a mom. And sometimes it feels like a lot for sure. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for being here at my new time, 1 o'clock. I hope many of you are getting used to this now. It'll be 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern moving forward on Wednesdays. And if you just kind of put that in your calendar or, get used to it, I think it will be a better time for most because I'm hitting the East Coast before dinner time, which I think is a little better. I love Dana likes this new time. Me too. This is my old time, actually, that I had pre-pandemic, and it feels good to be back to it. A few things I want to show you on my bead table, and then we're going to head over to Stacie's table and see what she's got going there. Does that sound okay, Stacie?
Perfect.
Okay, so I wanted to remind you about the Tiara cast. We had a restock on cones in 4 different metal types: copper, the bright silver, the bright gold, and the antique brass. So if you've been needing cones, we have those in the shop now. We also had a restock on the maker's clasp, which is one of my all-time favorite toggle clasps. It's just a small toggle. It's nothing sizable, nothing outrageous. It works on a lot of projects. I've used it a ton over the years. So this has been restocked as of today. Last week, we stocked these lovely components. We still have them available. You could use it for a 3-strand necklace in the front. You could use it for a pendant or an earring. I've been thinking about an earring that I'd like to make with it. We have those in the silver and the antique brass. The magnet clasps, I think, possibly sold out in silver. I think there might be 1 or 2 left in the antique brass, possibly, but you'll have to go look. There aren't many. We did put a restock order in and expect those to be restocked pretty quickly. I was doing a little reconnaissance work this week, and I noticed I don't really see many people selling this in the US. So they're really fantastic. When we get them restocked, I hope you'll buy one and try it out. They've got a little locking mechanism in them, 2 little bars that kind of lock in place. They're really nice. And I think a lot of you are going to really like them. And then I just think the pattern on them is really nice too. It's not masculine. It's not feminine. You could use it on a lot of different kinds of projects. And so far my magnets are holding up pretty well, because that's always a tricky thing in a magnet clasp too. They're pretty strong and you can't really just pull them apart, which is nice. So if there's any of these left, nab those quickly. They may be sold out because it was very close when I last looked. Also new were some earring findings in antique brass and in silver. So those are in as of last week. I think that was all the tiara cast we have up for now. Like I said, we have more coming, and then we have some more new items coming too as we kind of slowly restock from them being closed. We are getting them from Greece. It's a brand new manufacturer that bought Tierra Cast. So far, so good on the quality. I think they're looking pretty good. I think you'll be quite pleased. It's going to be nice to be able to have some of these components back in. I'm pretty jazzed about it. Okay, we're going to move on over to Stacie's table and take a look at what she has going on over there.
Yeah, so thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
I really loved this little flamingo charm. And I was telling Sarah beforehand that I always find it very therapeutic to wrap beads onto a frame. I actually like to seed bead them on too. So wanted to check it out, make sure this was going to work out. And it does look like the 4mm turquoise rounds worked great to do this. So I can kind of show you what I did to do that, and was going to actually turn these into a set of earrings with this really cool glass piece that's got that AB coating on it. So I can go ahead and show you what I did. So I like to use 26 gauge wire, and the craft wire I find to be just fine. Those of you that know me, I tend to often like to use German style wire, but for this type of thing, the 26 gauge craft wire works great. And so I am just going to start and cut a piece. I usually go with extra because it's a little, this is like way more than I need. It's a little tricky if you run out on a wire wrapping on a frame to add more on, you can, but if you're not proficient at doing it, I, wouldn't really recommend it. So I am just seeing, because I want to do these opposite. Okay, I'm going to wrap, since I did this side on this one, I want them to kind of be the inverse. So I'm going to wrap over here on this side on the other one. Maybe I'll move that up. People can probably see better without the beads in the background. So the way that I start this is I take about an inch tail, and I'm going over the frame starting at the top. And I will just kind of pull that through, and I'm going to make about 3 or 4 wraps. And if you got a kink like this, I find the best thing. I love my nylon jaw pliers. And funny story, I got a new pair, but for whatever reason, I still like the old pair better, because these have definitely gotten a lot of use.
Oh, mine are like that too.
But don't the old ones with all the grooves work better than
I feel like they do too. Yeah.
I think I just need to use the new pair. But anyway.
Yeah.
So probably if I move my finger going through the bigger part. So when you have something kind of in here, you just have to kind of move it around a little bit and just pull the wire through. And then I don't worry about these being, you can see the little wraps. They're kind of all over the place, because I will just come in with a chain nose pliers and squish them together. And just move that over to the top. So we are ready to add our first bead. So I am just using these cute little turquoise rounds, and I really do love the color on these. And so you just thread that one on to your frame, and you'll notice I'm going over, so I'm coming over the top, kind of front to back with that bead. And I usually just hold that bead there with my finger and fold the wire down the back, because you want it to be a fairly sharp, a sharp angle, so your bead kind of stands up on the end. And then you will just really continue doing what we were doing before. So pull that through. And then I was putting 3 wraps in between the beads. And the reason that I did that is I wanted to make sure that there was space for the beads and they weren't, you know, on top of each other, because that was the look that I was going for. But if you want them a little bit more spread out, you know, you can kind of change that spacing as you know, would like. So again, I've got 2 there. And there's 3. And then I'm going to come up, get back in the same spot. So I'm going over. And this one, they're pretty close, so it just needs a little bit of straightening out. And a lot of times before I put on the bead, because you can see a little bit of the wire on the front and the back, I just straighten that little bit out gently. The other thing is 26 gauge wire is a little, it work hardens pretty quickly. So the more you like bend it and straighten it, it can get brittle and break, which gets back to my earlier point of having to add wire or start over. So try and be gentle with it. So again, I put the bead on, make sure it's standing up on the edge. I hold it with my finger and just fold the wire back. And that's what it looks like from the back side. And again, just do the same thing. So I'm gonna add 4 of these. I don't know if you wanted to watch me do them, I can, but Sarah, if you've got stuff you want to share, I can, you know, finish these off quickly and come back.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just enjoying this little flamingo frame too. And
I
I
know,
was
it's a
thinking
cutie.
how cute a little fringe would be hanging from it. So I was just kind of getting some beads out and some thread out and thinking about making a little fringe from it. I was trying to remember, because I haven't done it in so long, how I connect the thread to the component. I don't think I'm supposed to knot it, but I can't quite remember. So
I believe that's right. That's how I would do it.
do a knot or
Yeah.
not knot it?
I would knot it on.
Just knot it on. Okay. All right. Well, I'll give it a try. So I've got my thread. I've got a big eye needle, which I find super handy because it's just really easy to thread. I'm going to start in the middle because I'm just not even sure what length I'm going to do. I think I'm probably going to graduate from small to big in the center. So I'm just gonna start with the center, see what feels good, and then kind of build back from there on each side. So I'm going to do a double knot here. If I can get my fingers to cooperate. It's always tough, the tough part. And especially with this beading thread, because it wants to just pull straight instead of doing what you're asking it to do. But I will get it. I will persevere. And just tighten that down. And I can even string that probably back into my beads if I want to keep that little length of wire or that little length of beading thread. I'm using the Miyuki beading thread in silver today. I'm testing out another new kind of beading thread later. So I was thinking, oh, I should do this, and then I can see how this new beading thread feels next to it. So that's kind of my goal for today. Okay, so I don't know how many. Let me pick up like 10. and see how it goes for a center on my fringe. I'm using those new turquoise Miyuki seed beads that we just got in. You can find these. There's one seed bead parent that has all of our colors that are available. We have quite a few colors available now, which is exciting. But this is obviously one of my favorite colors. So I was like, when are we getting a turquoise? I can't live without a turquoise. No, I think I want to go longer. So that's what 10 would look like in the middle. I think I'm going to go a little longer because this piece is so long. It feels like the bottom fringe needs to meet the moment too. So I'm going to put 5 more on. Cool. Yeah, I feel like that's better. And then all I'm going to do is kind of push down that bottom one and then go back up through all of the rest. And you can almost do that in one fell swoop. Gently pull that up. Kind of pull down on your bottom guy and keep pulling up on that thread till you've got no excess thread showing. Here I'm going to wrap around a couple of times to anchor down, just in case that little knot for some reason doesn't hold well. You want to really make sure. I think in the center one, I'm going to try to pass through twice. Just giving me that reassurance I need. If it comes apart, I've got double duty. It feels like there's enough room to do that pretty well. You don't want to pull it too tight or this will get real stiff. So do make sure you've got a little bit of give to it. Go through this guy. And then back up again. And then basically I'm just kind of repeating that, but making a shorter strand across the bottom of my flamingo piece. This flamingo kit is still available. There's so many cute little components in it. Lots of fun, beautiful colors. So if you love it, make sure you grab one while you can at softluxcompany.com. Yeah, that's looking really good. So now I can move on and do my next strand over next to it. Oh, there go my seed beads. And I can go either way. I think it's kind of automatically going this way. So that's probably what I'll do. I'm going to bring it back over to you, Miss Stacie.
Perfect timing.
See how much progress you made. Well, I pick up my seed beads I just casually dumped out.
Yeah, so I have all of these on here, and I was going to just quickly show our viewers how to finish this off. So what I do is get my starting piece of wire and my ending piece of wire. You see I have boatloads of extra there to the back, and I just trim those down because you want the wires on the back, not on the front side. So I'm just going to trim those, and then you just come in. I use a chain nose pliers, but I know some people like to use a bent nose pliers for this, and basically just press them against the frame. And this one I may need to trim a little more. He left it a little long because I want it to stay on the back. I'm notorious for clipping wire and it going flying, and then, particularly during the summer, finding it later the hard way in my foot.
Oh my gosh, I have so many wire clippings all over.
Yeah.
At least they're not in your eye.
No, I'm careful on that one. The foot piece, not so good.
Right.
So this is what you end up with, and then it, in my opinion, needed some more extra fun to it. So I liked these yellow flat circles, and just took some 22 gauge wire and made some simple loops and added some beads on, and I can show you exactly what I did. So this is probably about 2 inches of the soft flex craft wire in 22 gauge, and I am just gonna make simple loops with this. So this end is not flush cut. That's one of the things that I find makes doing the simple loops easiest, is making sure your end is flush cut. Otherwise, in my opinion, it never wants to kind of line up very well.
Uh-huh.
And there's a weird little bend in there that I'm getting out with my handy dandy nylon jaw pliers, which people have asked me what's my favorite beading tool. It's probably my nylon jaw pliers. Although I wouldn't make too much with just those, would I?
No, but they are really handy if you're learning how to do something. You can make a mistake and reuse the wire. Like they are a really handy tool.
Yeah, and I just took
see
this
why.
off the spool, and you can see there's some little waviness to it, and you can just come in and straighten that out. Also, on the 22 gauge, you don't have to be that careful. It's a lot more forgiving than the 24 or the 26 because it's a thicker wire. So it will not be inclined to break on you if you have to go in and redo it a couple times. So I was talking and doing, but not sharing what I was doing. So after I have the flush end, I just come in. So I just came in and with my chain nose pliers and made a 90-degree bend here, and then coming in to make my loop. So I just grab it at the end with my round nose pliers. I have to roll toward me, and I have to do it. I don't know, my wrist gets angry if I don't do it this way. So I do it in a couple steps. I've seen people do it other ways. There's a number of different ways to make a simple loop. But try them out, figure out what works for you. First way I tried didn't work for me, and can't remember where I learned to do it the way that I do. So you can just load your beads on. There's a turquoise. I love these little spacers. They were really fun. I think Jesse James Beads, when they put together their designs, and I'm actually on one of their creative team members, they are really nice spacers.
I love their spacers, and I love how they always thoughtfully sprinkle them into every mix.
They do. They do. And I get excited when I have one of their mixes and I have extras and I separate them all out into little containers.
So nice.
So
I wonder if they do just sell any just spacer beads. They probably should do that.
I don't think they sell individual ones, but every once in a while I do see some mixes of just like metal spacer mixes. And their bead box usually often has a mix of spacers, which I never want to use. They're one of those things I like to collect. I have problems with bead hoarding. Like, if I like beads, I like to keep them but not use them.
I'm sure you're in good company here.
Yeah, bead purchasing and hoarding is a different hobby than jewelry making. They're two separate.
Yeah.
So to do the other side, I usually come in with a chain nose pliers and just fold that over again to make a right angle. A lot of people do it with their finger. Up to you. It also depends on the gauge of your wire. And then you're going to want to trim that to, I don't know, a centimeter or so, centimeter and a half. Depends how big you want your loops. I didn't make these too big, but if you want really big loops, you can leave a longer length. So again, just come in and roll that back to make a loop. And that one is a little off, so if it comes in, that's a good thing about wires. You can say, hey, wire, I do not like what you did, and I am going to fix it up. The other thing, too, is I find on simple loops, like these are not identical. And if anybody is close enough that they can see that, then I would say that's probably their personal problem. So, yeah, to assemble this, I am just going to open this back up, and I do that just like a jump ring, either towards you or away from you. Put my charm on, and then close that back up. Then all I need to do, and I love that you guys put ear wires, and these are nice ear wires too in your
Thank
kits.
you.
Like everything is there that you possibly ever need. There's grip tubes, there's clasps, and so that's actually super cool, especially if you're newer to beading.
Yeah, that's always been like a big goal for me in doing these kits, is that just anybody, I say it all the time. Everyone's probably heard me say it a million times, but anybody can pick it up. You could send it to your sister-in-law who just retired and she's needing a new hobby, and you can send it with a pair of crimping pliers and a pair of cutters, and she's got the basics there to kind of test out. Does she like making jewelry? Will she enjoy this? And then as people get more and more into it, maybe they'll get some craft wire and some chain nose pliers and round nose pliers and do, even more stuff.
And then maybe they'll become a bead hoarder.
And maybe the next step is bead hoarding for sure. And we definitely have some of those. I see some people in the comments were commenting on their bead hoarding skills.
Oh, good. I'm happy I am not alone. I know I am not, because I've seen posts on different jewelry pages where people have clearly outdone me.
Yes.
I know whenever I mention it, Jennifer Miller, who I do a lot of lives with, she can always outdo me. She's like, well, you have one box of these. I have 2 boxes of these.
That's how I always felt about Mike Sherman. I was like, my bead hoarding is nothing compared to Mike's. So I'm always like, okay.
Yeah. I've tried to tell my husband that, but it hasn't really flown all that well.
Yeah.
So I opened this one, and then I did something weird. I got that up there.
Thankfully, beads aren't too big, so there's that. You can hoard a lot.
The house is going to collapse under the weight of my beads.
That's a little dramatic. Tell him I said.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, that's a little bit much.
I was just making sure these were facing the right way, and they are. So, I'll get these right. Yep.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, and I will take a picture and post them, because it always looks better in a picture than sitting on my hand on a camera.
We would love that. Yeah. Please do. And we'll post it onto our Instagram and get it into our email. And so where is the very best place people can find you? Where are you hanging out the most? If they were just
I am most consistently on Instagram.
Aha.
And I'm at Stacierabbit I'm Stacie with an IE.
Do you do a lot of pictures or videos, or what is your main thing that you do there?
Um, I do a bit of both. So I'm fairly consistent on posting photos, but I
Mhm.
also um, try and get some reels in. And I've started this year. My goal. I set myself a jewelry goal every year. Is I wanted to start getting more into YouTube, and so I have about 30 videos. Some of them are short. Some of them are a little bit longer. That I have been trying to build that up as well.
That's awesome. I love that. So YouTube or Instagram are good places.
Yeah, I
to
have
check you out.
my Facebook connected with Instagram, so you can see basically the same content on both
Mm-hmm.
if you've got a preference on platform.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. I'm just beading along here, seeing how this might work out,
Those
and
are
if I'm
pretty.
gonna like it or not. So this would be my centerpiece, and then I'm just kind of gradually getting smaller and smaller. I'm not sure how I feel about this little spot here. Once they're all there, I don't know if I'll care. So I'm going to keep moving forward, even though it will create like a little bit of a gap. I think it'll be okay. And then, like I said, I'm going to do the second earring with a different thread so I can do a little comparison, which is my main goal for today. But I stay tuned. We'll see how that all ends up working out. These are pretty cool if you want to do some earrings. I could imagine working with some of these fun crystals with these would be really cool. You could do some little head pins and attach them so they kind of move and dangle. This little mix here, which is available separately from the kit or in the kit, has some really pretty colors in it. Pops of yellow and blue and pink, and then it's got a really nice flamingo color as well in there that I think you'd enjoy. I noticed there are some drops, these little drops. I think they were in the Jesse James bead mix. So you would need 2 of them, but you need 2 bead mixes because there's 4. But look at how cute those could be dropping down from each of these for an earring. That could be kind of fun to play with. And then you can add in some of those fun spacer beads too. You want to get a little bit of silver in there. So all you're going to need there is a head pin or a piece of softflix craft wire, and you can attach it right to that finding. I don't have enough. Well, actually, oh, maybe there are enough in one bead mix. Are there 6 in your bead mix of this style, Stacie?
I'm counting.
Okay, good. Maybe there were. Let's see if there's 6 of these too. Maybe we'll just.
I do see 6. There are 6 in there.
Oh my gosh, it's like Sarah James just read my mind.
You did.
Thank you, Sarah James. Let me see if I have some head pins here, and we'll just make one of these little links so you can see what it looks like. Oh, where did I put all those head pins? I used to have a big, huge bundle of them. They were always in the way, and I was like, why do I have all these? Now when I need them, I'm like, where did those end up
As soon as
going?
we get off, you'll find them. That's usually what happens to me.
I know. No, they're right here. I know it. I feel it in my bones. I wouldn't have taken them too far away, but oh, there's a couple in here. This will work. Okay, let me grab out a few pens and we'll do. All right, so I've got my head pin, which is basically a stick of wire with something at the bottom. Now, it can be tricky because sometimes a bead has too big of a hole. This happens to work just right. but you don't want anything that's got too big of a hole that it's just going to slip over the top of your head pin. There are different kinds of head pins. This is a ball, so it's a little bit smaller. There's also flat head pins if you prefer, so that can be an option as well.
If your bead is ever too big, Sarah, I have just stuck a seed bead down there sometimes.
Yes, totally.
That's my trick.
Yeah, that's a great trick. So I'm going to add on my bead, and then I'm going to take out my round nose pliers, which are the pliers that have cylinders, matching cylinders on each side. And this is how I make a wire wrapped loop. But like Stacie said, there's a ton of different ways to do it. So I like to grab on like right above the bead, but you leave a little bit of space. I adjust so the wire is pointing toward me. I push the wire over, pointing away from me. I adjust so I'm on the side of the loop now, and then I pull the wire under, pointing toward me. And that usually gives me a pretty decent little loop. I oftentimes just use those same round nose pliers to hold onto that loop and wrap. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and connect to my piece. Doesn't really matter too much which way it connects. So just get it on there. I could have made a bigger loop, but I think this will work out fine. And I'm just going to hold on to it and wrap around the base. And come in with my cutters flush side toward the bead and snip. And if there's any little bit sticking out, we just go in with the chain nose pliers and compress it. And there is the first one. And then I'm just going to repeat that across the earring, and it'll just give me a really cute little earring. I can attach my ear wire right at the top. So we can just slide that on right now, actually. And close that up. These aren't too heavy, even though they're quite sizable piece. They aren't too heavy. And you could do lots of different drops or beads. Like I said, the only thing is they are kind of close together. So you want to be thoughtful of your beads being skinny enough that they make sense. So let's do another one and see how they sit next to each other. I'm loving these little twists. These little light blue twists are so cute. So same deal. Trying to make it about the same size as the last one so they make sense together. And attach it on there. Let's see how they sit side by side. See how those give each other enough space? They can kind of dangle freely. If you do something that's too wide, they'll knock into each other. So just make sure it's skinny enough. Oh, I'm getting wrapped up in my thread project. Too many projects going on at one time.
Yep, totally get that one.
And then maybe we'll do one more just to finish off the earring, and then we can get going. I hope everybody has a really fun and safe 4th of July, whatever it is that you're doing. I hope you have a really great time. We will be doing a parade. My wonderful neighbor is doing a big pancake breakfast for the whole neighborhood. So that's going to be fun. And then we are lucky we get to see fireworks right from our front porch. They're not super close, but they're close enough that I don't have to brave taking my kids out in the middle of the night. We can just get our jammies on and watch right from
That's
here.
fun.
Yes, that's what we do usually every year. What are you guys doing this weekend, Stacie?
Not a ton. And Cincinnati is really weird, but their big fireworks celebration is actually usually over Labor Day.
Oh,
And
interesting.
I don't know the history on it, but they have a huge one at one of the parks that's not too far away.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like actually, it's a little bit too far away for us to see from where we live, but we can drive, basically down to the Walmart parking lot and see it from there.
How good do those look?
Those are cute.
think
I love them.
So fun. We have these metal pieces in the silver that I used here, but also in an antique brass. So if you prefer the antique brass, you could totally choose that instead. You could also use this as a pendant, in the center of a necklace if you wanted to, or get 3 of them and do a pendant and then 2 matching earrings. And it'd be real easy to build kind of a fun necklace with this bead mix too, to go with that beautiful light blue in the front. Could see something coming together pretty quickly. And boy, do those look nice with dark hair. So here's what the brass looks like. So we've just got all sorts of stuff happening at Softflex. I hope you'll check out the tiara casts that we've added, like the stuff that I used today, as well as some of the restocks. And hopefully you're enjoying getting access to that stuff again. I certainly am. I think they're sold individually, Debbie. Thomas can check on that, but I think they're sold individually. And then you put in how many of them you want. And so if you want to get 3, you can get 3. If you want to get 1, you could get 1. But if you want 2, definitely put in 2 to get the amount that you want. The Fab Flamingo kit is still available, all the new tiara cast, some of the Fab Flamingo parts. And then we have our new Enchanted Forest and our TGBE kit. TGBE is coming up so fast. I see there's no giveaway today. Should I do a giveaway? I can type something in pretty quickly here. Let me see. Give me a minute. And we will set up a quick giveaway. I was busy talking to Stacie at the beginning. So are you doing weekly videos on YouTube, Stacie?
I am not doing weekly videos. Jennifer Miller and I do one Sunday a month. And then Jennifer and I also met Jody Krantz through, I believe it was Sam's Bead Shop, and we've started doing a Friday night.
That's fun.
Bead party with her once a month. And those are generally on Jennifer's channel. I need to start moving in that direction on mine too.
Okay. Giveaway has began. If you want to enter to win, I'm going to give away a pair of these components today for a pair of earrings. So to enter, it's #rabbit in honor of Stacierabbit.
Love it.
And you've got about 5 minutes to enter while we kind of finish up for the day. Let me show you.
I threw together a stringing project too while you were.
Oh my goodness, look at you. Okay, I'll come to you in just a minute. Here are the summer sale details. I started the show with it, but many of you joined me after. It is code SUMMER15, 15 to 50% off of our holiday category. Go to shop, click on holidays, And that category has everything that's on sale, including this fabulous Flamingo design kit that we were using today, and probably lots of other lovely goodies that give you summer vibes. So go check that out. Sale ends July 8th, and you have to put in the coupon code SUMMER15 to get the deepest discount you can on all of those items. I am going to click off of here, and we will go check out your stringing project.
I just realized I left this little guy and the spacer off on the other side. That was a last minute addition, but I'll just cut it off and pop it on when we're done. So
look at how pretty those colors are together.
I know. I really loved, got too much here. It's usually my problem. I really loved that there were some ceramic beads and then these big pink bubblegum flamingo beads. And one of my favorites are these little circles, because it's always a puzzle for me to figure out what I can fit in between there. And
Bead flames. Those are fun.
I love the turquoise wire, and I have a rule because I like the colored soft flex wire so much that I don't cover the whole thing up. I leave a lot of it, bare if I'm going to use it, because it's too pretty to cover it all up.
Yeah, it is. It is so pretty sometimes. And it just, like, I don't know, it just makes the project sometimes.
Does.
You don't have to use as many beads. Those big pink flamingo colored beads are mother of pearl beads. They're actually quite special. They're really, really pretty. It's reconstituted mother of pearl with like a coating over the top of it. We have those in a bunch of different colors. In fact, we have them in like a Tiffany blue too.
Oh, really? You just said the magic word. I'm known for my obsession with blue, so I might have to go check that out.
Yeah, they're really pretty in the Tiffany blue. I don't know if the picture online does them justice, but they're, I think, pretty stunning. Whenever I see them in the gallery, I'm always like, ooh.
You know what? Well, what I will be doing when we hang out.
Awesome. In fact, Thomas, will you add the mother of pearl that we have into the summer holiday category? And we'll make sure everybody can get at least 15% off on those using that coupon code that I just showed you. So after the live, give him a few minutes because he'll need to go in and find them and add them to the category. But we'll get them added because they are great. They have a great summer vibe to them, especially the turquoise. Oh, they're already in. Even better. I haven't had a chance to look through there and see what got added, but I could see those being super great for summer. Okay, I've given you guys some time. Last chances on the giveaway. This will be kind of a small giveaway today since I didn't have it posted from the beginning, but you must be here live to win. You've got a really good shot at winning if you put it in right now, #rabbit. You can get yourself into the giveaway. And I'm going to share my screen. The coral nuggets that we added last week are fabulous. I imagine those hopefully went into the summer holiday category too. They're really pretty. They're even prettier in person. I took the photos, but photos just don't do beads the justice they deserve. Only 20 entries. I feel like this is the easiest to win giveaway I have ever done. There's 21. I know there's a couple more of you that are probably wanting to get entered. I'm going to give away a pair of these brand new Passion Fashion Tiara Cast. Passion Fashion's the company that bought Tiara Cast and is now not only selling old Tiara Cast parts, but has designers that are creating in light of Tiara Cast for the Tiara Cast line. So they're looking over what Tiara Cast has made over the years and then thinking about how they can make parts and pieces that will marry well with the product line. So that's where these new pieces come from. They're made by designers at Passion Fashion on behalf of the Tiaracast brand. And I think they're super nice. I think you guys are going to like them. And I'm excited to give a pair of them away to one lucky winner. I'm going to draw that winner right now. Cecilia on YouTube, please let us know in the comments that you are here to claim your prize. We will have you email info@softflexcompany.com to collect your prize. And you want to let them know your shipping address, especially if we've never shipped to you before, and let them know that you won 2 of the 3-piece connectors from Tiaracast. Let's see if she is here. That's always the tricky part. Stacie, when can people find you next? What's your next?
I am actually gonna be with Silver Silk on Silver Silk Sunday.
Oh, fun with Danielle and Nile. Uh-oh, we lost her. Let me see what happened. I'll bring you back in. There you are. I don't know what happened. Can you hear us okay, Stacie?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay, so you're going to be on Silver Silk with Nile and Danielle?
Yes, on Sunday.
Awesome. I love that. That will be a lot of fun. Tell them hi from me.
Will do.
They're 2 of my favorite people, so I'm excited you get to go spend some time with them.
I am too.
Yeah, that'll be great. And you can find that, I imagine, on the Silver Silk YouTube channel.
You got it.
Yeah, so go check that out.
I might also stream to Facebook as well.
Probably. Yeah,
so
probably.
I think it's both.
I think on YouTube you can go, if it's already set up, you can go and get a reminder.
Which is
nice. I always like that.
Yes.
So it might be good to go set a reminder for that, because that's going to be a fantastic show. Hey, everybody, I hope that you will tune in tomorrow for our live. Oh, no, not tomorrow. I'm so confused. It's 4th of July week. We do not have a live sale tomorrow. And it's Rosa's birthday this week. I imagine there's no way in heck Rosa's watching right now, because she's off and on vacation, but still sending her the best and biggest birthday wishes. We all love you, Rosa. I'm sure many of you love Rosa out there as well, because she puts a lot of time and energy into our live sales. So she's got the week off. I will be off as of tomorrow as well. No Joyce on Friday because of 4th of July. It's a paid holiday for our office, so our office will be closed. But I imagine Kristen will be back next Monday. So you can check out Free Spirit Beading next week. And I will be back on Wednesday as well. And I think at 1 o'clock. So tune in, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for being here today, Stacie.
Thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun.
I hope a lot of you guys will go check out Stacie on Instagram and on YouTube, and keep tabs on what she's up to, because she's doing all sorts of fun things out there. And she's just a really lovely, gentle designer spirit. So I think you'll enjoy following her on all these little adventures she's going on with Jennifer Miller and with Nile and all the folks in the industry that are doing videos. Okay, well, I hope you enjoy the coupon. Go shop on the website. Have the best 4th of July. Sending all of you lots of love. Have a great weekend, everybody.